There my guy is.
D Weezy.
What's happening?
All right,
What's
here
up
we
with
go. Hold
you?
on.
Breezy.
Yeah.
Looks like they back for a fifth season, man.
Who that?
Sports Roundtable.
Who?
SRT Crew.
Whoa.
SRT. They got that realness flowing in their DNA. Damn you lame if you ain't tuned to SRT today. HO got that payload when he say so. What you betting on? Don't get mad at me on fantasy. Break up Kyrie LeBron. I be smooth as sports superhero Hancock in the mix. Deal with roll tide forever. Real talk, you know who he gon' pick. See where I be with SRT. Beyond the glass, that G Money. They with a strong. I never lose. 6 man a lead. That's J Smooth.
All you other sports radio shows is fake news. Believe it. Turn up your radios, cause it's time for SRT Radio. Yeah.
What up? It's Sports Roundtable, and we're live from our virtual studios overlooking everywhere. And happy SRT Wednesday, happy Juneteenth, happy Freedom Day. The only question I have, Han and D Will, is today is the recognition of our black slaves being freed at last. The only question I have is, are we actually free? Even as of today, are we actually free?
Yeah, you say that, but the problem is that they didn't even know they was free for what 2
years. Yeah, 2 years.
That late. So
That's what I was gonna say. Is this really a celebration? We celebrating you getting put in the saver because the crop you need one more crops to grow. Like, I don't know if that's a celebration. Like,
right.
We can call it a recognition, but I don't know. A celebration is. I don't know if we should be barbecuing and putting on outfits and popping firecrackers.
Yeah,
right.
I kind of, this guy is kind of out there. That this Charleston White dude, but he had some online to this effect, and what he said about it was he don't celebrate no more because now it's being monetized by them. So now they're making money off telling everybody that we were still slaves longer than we were supposed to be. So I kind of he crazy. I ain't gonna say he crazy.
He crazy as hell.
But he do some outlandish stuff. But that made a hell of a lot of sense, and I'm kind of with him on that, man. I think it's kind of jacked up.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I just want to throw that out, man, just to, we got to recognize it because, I mean, it is something to recognize. But at the same time, the modern day is something to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
The modern day is something to deal with. And to that point, I'm and I hate to get off on this tangent, but do y'all remember do y'all even realize that after Doug Williams won the Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos, he never snapped a ball again in the NFL?
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, never. After the Super Bowl, he never snapped the ball again. And then check this out. When Doug Williams made a pass, the announcer said that was a great catch. When John Elway made a pass, that was a great throw.
Well, that still goes on. That still goes on. That's Lamar Jackson.
I'm gonna say, Big Ho, you saying that like you surprised.
Sometimes when you go on back and listening and looking and realizing these things, it's like, okay, well, man, that's so. Then and then the day comes up, it's like, well, 1865, 1863, recognizing 1865. Then you got 2024, and some of the same innuendos are still going on. So I'm like, well, I mean,
Look,
this
man,
is.
Did you see
this is
Big
tough.
homie? Trevor Lawrence just got paid. Lamar Jackson almost had to sit out and throw a hissy fit to get his money. But they pay this dude. He won 30 games, lost 60. Come on, man. And this Lamar Jackson been a 2-time MVP. Come on, man. Talk to me.
Yeah.
McFly. That's all I'm saying. Like, come on, man. Right? It's like I'm telling you, it's nauseating to talk about because it's so blatant and obvious to like it's not even surprising anymore, right? Like just mentioning it even cause an effect, right? Because in the call supposed to have an equal or greater effect. It doesn't even bother him, right? It's so blatant, it's so obvious, and it's put out there like that. And we see the differences in what goes on because what Hancock just said just summed it all up, man. Trevor Lawrence got paid with no pushback. And Lamar Jackson, who was an MVP and now a 2-time MVP, had to go through hell and high water and jump every hurdle in America, have everything questioned about him from his character to his personal life to the actual what he does on the football field, which is eons ahead of 27 other players at the quarterback position in the NFL, but he still had to go through it. So we understand what it is, man. We just got to persevere through it and make it happen.
Yeah. To add to that, and this gonna be my last little rant. Do y'all realize that the Caitlin Clark phenomenon would not be what it is today if it wasn't for Angel Reese and what she did to her in her face?
Bro, I agree with that. But the Caitlin Clark thing, it ain't even that deep, bro. Let's just keep it 100. It ain't that deep. It ain't no deep philosophizing we got to do. It is one 4-letter network that is taking the agenda to push her, right? To push her and to have it as the context that they're putting in is that she is the driving force behind the success of the WNBA. That is one network's agenda, and they are pushing it to the fullest. Period.
Yeah.
And it's bleeding to every network. They even mentioned it. You sitting there watching the NBA Finals, and Doris Burke says, "Oh wow, that foul was happening on Caitlin Clark. We have a big time scuffle or something. They be talking about some investigation going on because it's the narrative is out there so wild. She can't. I mean, you can't mention any type of basketball without her name coming up, and it's not her fault. Don't get me wrong. I don't fault her at all. She's capitalizing on it. She's making money, and that's awesome. And the actual eyes that she's brought to the WNBA along with Angel Reese is great. But let's just let them play basketball. It's ridiculous, man. She gets fouled, and then it's an act of Congress, And Angel, it's having an effect on her, in her press conference. She's like, I don't want to say nothing because y'all gonna twist my words anyway, no matter what I say. So it's bad, man. It's real bad.
Yeah, right. I must say. All right, man. Well, let's go. Everybody, come on in. We appreciate it, Coach, Marlon, Dez. I see all of y'all in here. Let's go ahead and have a little fun. It is now time to jump into some hot news. The hot news is sponsored by our good old friends, Big Easy Grill, 1193 Collier Road, Atlanta, Georgia. Big Easy Grill, the best Louisiana seafood in town. Just ask D-Will, you can ask me, you can ask Hancock. Big Easy Grill is a place to be. 1193 Collier Road, Atlanta, Georgia. Go on over there. Make sure you mention SRT Sports Roundtable, and you get your a 10% discount on any meals, $25 or more. All right, fellas, we have a champion, and it's the Boston Celtics. Before we even go any further, Hancock, you're a Laker fan. D-Will, I think you may be a Laker fan. I guess. I mean, it's up in the air since Kobe took the rest. But do you consider those 5 championships in Minnesota as a Laker championship?
I do. Because it's part of the Lakers franchise. Okay. It's not the Los Angeles Lakers, but if it is the team that left Minneapolis to move to Los Angeles, yeah, all that tradition follows them, right? It goes with them to that. So, yeah, those 5 championships definitely count. I question all them championships back then because it was like 5, 6 teams in the league. Like when you put all the good players on one team, hell yeah, they're gonna win. George Michael was the only 7 foot on the floor. Everybody else 5'3". So yeah, they supposed to win. So I get that part, but yeah, their legacy moves with them because it's the same franchise, even though it's a different city.
All right, I was just wondering, somebody asked me, and I'm like, look, man, I'm not at liberty to say, but if it's a franchise, then you're talking about franchises, because they was asking me about what Magic Johnson said about, now he tweeted that, now y'all got one more than our franchise and our organization. Yeah, and then you didn't realize that, well, hell, they really, that organization, where the organization has 17, but in the Los Angeles area, they only have 12. I mean, so it's like, but a lot of people, how many people can go back to Minnesota and really understand or really remember a championship in Minnesota? So I'm like, let me bring it to the panel and see what's happening. But either way, Boston wins, and fellas, I want you guys to start off and let me know. Hancock, we'll start with you. How did this happen? How did Boston get it done?
Well, we had shows on this prior to the championship series, and the prevailing thought that I had was that it was just a bad matchup for Dallas. And when you looked at the top 2 scores on each team, they could cancel each other out. But that third score that was going to be needed to put the team over the top, it was hugely in Boston's favor. When you looked at it, Dallas' 2 main guys had to have phenomenal games every game of the series. Boston could afford for one of their stars not to come out and play spectacular. They just had to show up and play because they had enough to fall back on. You had Drew Holiday, who was already NBA champion. You had Derek White, who had shown that he could be he's a better above average player. He fit in nicely with them. We talk about Al Horford. He was spacing the floor, hitting shots, playing defense on Luka at times, and then the guys they brought off the bench, everything they had after their top 2, it would have been hard for the top after Kyrie and Luka for the other guys on Dallas to get playing time in Boston. It would have been hard. I'm not saying they wouldn't have, but it's not that they would have come in and they wouldn't have taken anybody on Boston's starting 5. I don't think they've taken their place. And then I didn't even talk about Porzingis. Porzingis, had he been healthy, probably would have been a sweep. Let's just be real. I mean, they had no answers for him. So to me, it was just a bad matchup all the way around for Dallas. I didn't think they had enough to win. And it proved out. It was a gentleman's sweep. Dallas got one in Dallas, and it pretty much ran the course of what I thought it would run, to be honest with you.
Okay. Good deal. All right, D. Weezer, what was your thoughts on how did Boston get it done?
They were just a better team. Like, it's not really much to analyze, break down. We could, what I'm saying? I could go through a lot of variables of why it happened. However, at the end of the day, the better players in the NBA usually win. If you got the better players and a better team, it's going to be hard to lose 4 out of 7 games in that situation. So with that being said, I just think Boston was the better team. Like you said, like Hancock just said, man, they're able to have guys not show up and still be better than Dallas, right? Porzingis came out and was crazy hot in game 1. He never showed that type of pop the rest of the series, right? Jason Tatum was lukewarm throughout the series. Even though you look at his numbers, they don't look like he was lukewarm, but his impact on the game wasn't as what you expected to be all the time, and they still won. Jaylen Brown at times disappeared on the basketball court. You didn't know he was out there. However, he was still being effective. And guess what? They still won the basketball games because, like you say, those ancillary parts, those others, the Al Horfords, the Derek Whites, the Drew Holidays, those guys played such a huge role in helping them get over the hump that it was just too much for Dallas to overcome, because once you key on Brown, you key on on Porzingis, or you take away Jason Tatum, you got Derek White knocking down threes. You got Drew Holiday shooting rhythm pull-up step down threes, something that he never does. However, the opportunity is there for him, and him being an NBA player who's won championships before, he's going to make that shot uncontested, which he was most of the time. So it was just too much. And then just bringing a guy like Peyton Pritchard off the bench to just hit shots from half court over and over and over again, just dagger after dagger at Dallas, to where it was just so much. It was just so overwhelming that they just couldn't overcome it.
I feel you. And Hancock, by the way, that last half court shot, he did walk. So I know who was on the phone when it happened, but yeah, he walked, and it showed. I mean, he sat in the front row of the James Harden School of Footsteps.
But do you really care?
No,
you know what I mean?
Really.
Like, do we really care the NBA players travel? Like, I think we make a big deal out of it for the hell of it, but when they travel, they doing some spectacular-ish, and we gonna love to see it. So we really don't care if they travel.
I don't even know what traveling is no more, D. Will, because I was talking to Big Homie the other night. A step through used to be a travel when I was coming up. If you stop your dribble, then you said, okay, I'm gonna make a move. I still got my pivot foot, but I'm gonna take a giant step toward the basket. That was traveling. Now they call it
right.
I don't know what traveling is. I promise. And they say that's a legit move now. You know, the double step back is a legit. I don't know what traveling is no more. I really don't. The game is changed. I have no clue. So you're right. You just, if they're gonna call it traveling this time, maybe next time they don't. I don't even know. There's no sense in getting upset about it, because when James Harden brought that into the game, it's been ever since. I don't know what the travel is.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right, Coach said that he said no. Going back to the question, he says no because the Hawks don't get credit for their franchise win in St. Louis, or championship in St. Louis.
Why we always got to bring the Hawks in there?
I'm not sure, but I mean, it's a good point. I mean, maybe the Hawks don't get the respect that the Lakers get. Maybe that's what it is.
Here's my thing: do the Hawks claim it?
It's hanging up in the arena.
Well, then it count. Then it count. Then
it count.
It count.
What year was?
It was in the 50s. I don't know. It was way before they got to Atlanta. I know that. I think Lou Hudson was on the team.
Was it an NBA at that time?
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you look back. I mean, and I'm not being funny. I mean, you look back at when Cleveland Browns and Chicago Bears won those championships back in the day. They don't call those Super Bowl championships. They call them NFL championships or something else before the Super Bowl, the invention of the Super Bowl. So, like I'm saying, it was that organization where did the Hawks win as an NBA franchise, or was it something else? That's what I'm asking.
Right. Hey, man.
Yeah.
It count, man.
Yeah,
take a championship. Yeah. Take a champ. Celebrate.
I know that's right. 1958.
And what was the inception of the NBA?
NBA Finals.
Was the NBA around?
Yeah, it said the NBA Finals. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then they got one. Chalk it up.
Chalk it up. Be happy. Hold on.
But we can go around and say the Hawks got a championship, huh?
There it is.
Franchise got a championship.
They don't have a Larry though. We gotta get them a Larry now. Who was the commissioner back then?
Hell, probably still David Stern.
I'm not even sure. All right, fellas. Speaking of Caitlin Clark, now it's the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. Is it a good thing, a bad thing? Hancock mentioned the Bird and Magic thing, but I'm like, well, because it seems like to me every time that Caitlin Clark get fouled, it's the headline news. Something happened to Angel Reese.
Look, man, come on.
We don't hear anything.
But big homie, if you go back and turn the clock back and look at when Bird Magic came into the league, it was some begrudging feelings toward Bird. You know, Bird got 3 MVPs in a row, and they were, you know, some people look at that as favoritism, as him getting them those, you know, and you know, Magic took his team and won the NBA title as a rookie, but Bird won MVP. So I mean, run Rookie of the Year. So I mean, there's always been some kind of controversy. But even the bigger picture, I said this last week. I want you to take a swing at this. I told Big Homie, and I hope the people out there listening, that the NBA might still be on tape delay had Larry Bird been a black man, because then you wouldn't have had a white guy and a black guy coming into the league to build the league. You would have had just 2 more brothers coming in that half of the country still wouldn't have been caring about. The only reason that was big to me, I mean, the huge part, is people try not to say about the racism aspect of it, but it was a racial divide that spurred this on. So again, my point is, and that might be a little far-fetched, but the NBA might not be what it is today had Larry Bird been a black guy.
Hey, listen,
I'm just saying.
You cannot disagree with that point at all. And like, we can make it into a funny joke to make it lighthearted, but let's cut to the meat of this. That's true, bro. Right? Yeah. Like, if you go back and watch the 30 from 30s from the 80s, the Lakers 30 for 30, the Boston Celtics 30 for 30, the Bad Boys 30 for 30, go watch those 30 for 30s. Every one of them, the dynamic is Bird versus Magic. Bird versus Isaiah. Isaiah said something racist. They had to come and have a press conference about it. Magic said something. They had to say something. Somebody said something for the. It was all about Larry Bird. Larry Bird saved the NBA. Magic Johnson made the NBA, because when Larry Bird sat up there in 1987 after they lost to the Lakers in that finals, and he said Magic Johnson is the best player of all times, people didn't understand that was him saying, I'm white and I walk around with supreme confidence, but that's the best player, right? The league didn't switch until then. It was still all about Larry. Larry won 3 championships and 3 MVPs in 5 years, right? So with that being said, it was Larry's league. The NBA made it because Larry brought in the white people. The white people started to watch because of Larry. Then once they started watching, they started seeing this big smile from Magic Johnson. Then they great white hope said Magic Johnson's best basketball player you ever seen. That changed everything. So yeah, man, Larry Bird saved the NBA. I totally agree with that concept, Han. Completely.
Okay. All right, Han, you want to finish up on your Reese and Caitlin? Does Caitlin need to say Angel Reese is the best player that she's ever seen?
Oh, she don't need
or she need to say Angel Wilson is the best player.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think she should say it, because it's not true. The best player in the NBA is Angel Wilson. Let's get to the point of that. She's the best female basketball player in the WNBA. But the thing that drives this is,
I like Agumawale, but okay.
Oh, she cold.
I like Agumawale. I like Agumawale, but go ahead.
Cold. I agree. She cold. The thing about it is, this has the same genesis of what happened with Bird and Magic. They started in college, and it's them. What they did in that championship game 2 years ago fed into a perfect ground for them to meet again in the next college year, and they did. Even though it wasn't a championship game, you had 2 supernovas coming, and you knew it was going to be a collision. They got there. It was the perfect storm. Even though it wasn't a championship, they met again in a high-stakes game that the nation clamored for. You know, it wanted to see this white girl get a revenge for this black girl doing the ring finger and all that in her face and all that. And you wanted Black America saying, no, we still want our Bayou Barbie to win. It was the perfect storm. And this has continued on now in the WNBA. And the thing they're doing, I like I said, I thought they missed the boat on not letting Caitlin go to the Olympics, because I think it's just about eyeballs now, trying to continue to grow the game. She's going to bring eyeballs. Look, man, she's selling out arenas. They're going, and they're having to move from the smaller places to the large venues to accommodate crowds. It is what it is. she's a drawing card. Just like D. Will said Larry Bird does, she brings the eyeball. She brings the attention. She does. And they have to feed into it to that extent if they want this game to grow. Look, they didn't even have private flights. They didn't have charter flights. Now, they say they were on the verge of happening or whatever, but you have to realize they had to do it for her because it was a security measure. Think about when she was walking through the airport, they never would get to the plane, man, because people would gather around. Everybody wouldn't get there. So they had to go private instead of commercial with her. I mean, she brought that. Don't get me wrong. Her bringing that to the thing, she getting paid for a reason. She gets that money because people gravitate and they want to see it. It is what it is. But whether she acknowledges Angel Reese or not, I think she kind of acknowledges her because I agree. It's like the Joker and Batman. They kind of made each other. You know what I mean? And they needed each other in order to grow this thing this big. You have to have a yin and a yang, and they're the perfect ones. It's the perfect storm.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. So going back to the Clark thing, I see Coach is there. He said that Clark said it was a foul. We need to move on, and the media is the one that keeps talking about it. Marla said the mainstream is protecting Caitlin. Of course, that's their cash cow. And so we're gonna move on. And we're gonna move on to we're gonna move on to the boxing. And I know D Will love the boxing piece, so that's why I reached out to him and said let's talk about the boxing. Tank versus
Frank Martin.
Frank Martin, yes, sir. And it was what Tank hadn't boxed in 14 months. 14 months, and boy, it looked like he did not miss a beat. Woo, man. I didn't see the fight live, but I did. You know, I got some maneuvering where I can go back and look at it, and I did go back and look at it, and I'm like, wow. Woo. The only question I got is why can't the heavyweight fighters get us this excited? Because these guys 140, 130 pounds and all this other kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, welterweight and lightweight and all this. The heavyweight just done fell all the way off. So I just kind of wanted to get you guys' thoughts on the fight. Did this fight even encourage any kind of appetite for more boxing or more fighting? Is something that you want to see? Does it get you excited about trying to find out who's going to be the next guy? Anything like that? D-Will, I'll let you start off with that.
Bro, if anybody's still pushing the narrative of boxing don't matter, you're a damn fool and you're a big ass liar and you just don't watch, right? Let's keep it 100. The last several prize fights have been immaculate, right? We can go all the way back to Bud versus Errol Spence. That was a top versus top matchup. You can go back to Tank versus Ryan Garcia. You can go Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. You can go Tank versus Frank Martin. You can go Shakur Stevenson. You can go Devin Haney versus Lomachenko a couple years ago. Bro, these fights have been absolutely superb, and they have had endings that are worth watching. Here's the thing. And Big H.O., you mentioned the heavyweights. Who gives a damn about a heavyweight, right? Don't nobody want to see no big fat ass lug in the ring slinging one punch around. We don't care about it. There's no more Mike Tysons. There's no more Evander Holyfield. I don't want to see Deontay Wilder, who my Tuscaloosa brother Roll Tide. I don't want to see his ass in there looking to throw one punch, getting his ass knocked out every damn fight. I don't want to see that. What I want to see is some skill, some boxing, and somebody whooping some ass. And when you watch Tank Davis going to the boxing ring, he whoops ass. It don't matter. You like to see, don't you know back in the day, everybody used to say Mike Tyson to take 2 to get 1? That's Tank Davis. He gonna take 5 to get 1. and his face was beat up because Frank Martin outboxed him in the first 6.5 rounds just about. But right around midway through round 6, Tank Davis started walking his ass down. And he said in the corner after the 5th round, going into the 6th round, you heard Tank Davis say, he ain't got nothing left on that left. He has nothing else left on that left hand. I'm going to walk through it. And he walked directly through Frank the Ghost Martin, and it was a Ghostbuster. That was one of the most impressive performances I've seen inside the ring. And to be honest with you, if you go back and watch the last 3 or 4 Tank fights, they've been some of the most impressive boxing displays been put on by him. You can go to the Raleigh Pinto fight where he knocked him out. You can go where he hit your boy, old boy with the Garcia with the massive uppercut, the body shot to Ryan Garcia. I can go on and on, but man, he has been so impressive in the ring that it looks like he is damn near unbeatable. Like everybody, and I'm a Shakur Stevenson fan, right? I'm a Shakur Stevenson fan. He's one of the best defensive fighters, young defensive fighters you will see since Floyd Mayweather. And he is a very, very good fighter. He ain't ready for no damn Tank Davis. I don't care. There ain't nobody in 135, 140 to want to see Tank. And if I'm Ryan Garcia, I ain't fighting Tank unless it comes down, unless he comes up to 147 or on up to 160. I'm not fighting him down there no 135. Because at 135, 140, he is unstoppable. Do not fight that man at that range because he is a mother-sucking murderer. I almost cussed, but I didn't.
Yeah. All right, D. Will, before you go, a lot of passion. Hold on. D. Will got a message on the screen now.
I appreciate that, cuz. I sure appreciate it. That's 100 right there.
There it is. All right, Han, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah. The last part of what you said, I'm all the way in the car with you. You cannot go down there unless you're walking around at that weight. If you are not walking around at that 135 weight, you better get him to come up because you're losing too much. What you said is these fights are going to like the 6, 7 round. And what happens then is they're running out of gas. And Tank is like, I'm going to get you out here in this water and I'm going to drown you. And that's what he's doing. These guys, they're having to dehydrate and get down to make weight. That's a toll. Look, man, I get stuff when I can't eat. And you talking about now you can't drink, you can't do nothing to try to make this weight. And then you got to go in there and fight this monster. That's crazy. There's no way in the world you can be at your best when you starved and dehydrated yourself for a week or so to try to make a weight. And then you go in there and you try to blow up for the fight. Eventually, you're going to lose that. If you don't get Tank out of there in those early rounds, you're in trouble. And you're not going to do that because his name is Tank. It's a reason he called Tank. You ain't going to do it. You're not getting him out. So he knows what he's going to do. He said, I'm going to walk you down, wait you out, and walk through you. And he does it every time. He did it to Garcia. Garcia was a shell of himself late in that fight in the latter round. He could not protect himself. And Tank is going to kill everybody like that. If they don't get him to come up, he's going to beat the hell out of everybody at that weight because they don't have nobody for him right now. It just is what it is. Now, as far as boxing as a whole, you mentioned names now, D. Will. You said Shakur Stevens, all the people you talked about, they have to become names for the sport to grow. Because, like I said, back in the 76 Olympics, what happened with boxing and why it had this major renaissance was that everybody was in the Olympics. Pernell Whitaker, Sugar Ray Leonard, Spinks brothers, all of those guys. And then after the Olympics, guess what happened? They all turned pro. So you knew fighters at every level of the next level. You knew them all through welterweight, middleweight, lightweight, heavyweight. You knew them all. And boxing was the thing then. But what happened was everything went to pay-per-view and we stopped knowing who was fighting. I wouldn't know who they were fighting against till the fight came on. You know, and that was the thing. You have to know who you're about to watch. And I think right now, with the names you just said, all those guys you mentioned, they're starting to be the Devin Haney's. Everybody knows them now. You know, you can kind of, you have a familiarity with them. So when you anticipate seeing them, but when you don't know who the heck is fighting, you can't have a following. So I think that's where boxing kind of dropped the ball, is that they lost connection with the average boxing fan. See, it's fine to have avid boxing fans, people that they're going to follow regardless. But when you cross over, you have to have that fan that has really no interest until the big names fight. Like, and I keep mentioning this. My grandmama didn't know much about basketball, but she knew Michael Jordan. You understand what I'm saying? Because he transcended the sport. So you have to be able to have everybody know who the hell is fighting. So I think now they're getting to a better place, and it'll be it's going to be a better watch, and it's growing now. You get that anticipation because you know who's going to fight. So I think that's the big thing. Well, one of the big things.
And I'm going to add this to it because you made a great point. And here's the part about it. If you go back to the golden age of boxing, it was a lot of lightweights, middleweights, welterweights that were the ones who were driving the sport. Now you had your Muhammad Ali's, George Foreman's, who were the prize fighters. But when you went down and you saw Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, and all those guys, we can name names and keep going on and on and on. Pernell Whitakers, those guys were the box office ones that drove the sport consistently. Because guess what? Let's just keep it real. They're able to fight more than those big guys, right? They can get 2 fights in a year, 3 fights in a year. Because we know nowadays guys don't fight like they used to fight, right? Because everybody's trying to protect that. Oh, and that's Floyd Mayweather's fault, right? Let's just keep it real. Floyd Mayweather never losing changed the sport of boxing to where if you lose, you suck, right? If you get knocked out, you're no longer any good. Right. And that's furthest thing from the truth when it comes to a sport like boxing. So now that we're getting back to respecting guys who lose, because Ryan Garcia got demolished by Tank. When he came back and fought Devin Haney, that was the biggest fight in the world. Right. And he just took a loss. And now Devin Haney, when he comes back, if he goes on to fight like I want him to fight Shakur Stevenson, if he goes to fight Shakur, that's going to be the biggest fight in the world coming off a loss. And when Errol Spence goes to fight somebody, it's going to be the biggest fight in the world coming off his demolishment from Bud Crawford. So I'm saying as long as we have these guys on the lower level fighting consistently and making the bigger fights, I think boxing can thrive without the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
All right. I was going to ask Hancock, but I'm going to ask D. Will this. Hancock, you can chime in. Is it nowadays that boxing are actually boxing to more today than they did yesterday, or is it that the boxing of yesterday, the boxing of today learn from the boxers of yesterday, and they're just utilizing it better?
See, I'm gonna answer that question 2 ways. Because it's 2 yesterdays, right? Like we're in an era now where it's a lot of yesteryears, right? Back in the day, it wasn't a lot of yesteryear. Now, when you say yesteryear, we going back to the 60s because hell no, they ain't fight that much, right? Like them guys were fighting 7, 8, 9 times a month. It felt like, right? They always had a fight. But nowadays, that late 90s to 2000 to 2010 era is when guys really stopped fighting a lot. When it came all about the pay-per-view dollars and the money and protecting your right? That's what it turned into. That's the reason we lost a lot of general interest in the sport. Now that the sport is coming back, even though it's on pay-per-view, hell, everything on pay-per-view now. You pay for everything. Right. Everything is streaming. So it's kind of more of the same thing. It's more natural for a consumer to say, all right, I'll give you $79.99 for this fight because I give you money for streaming on everything else anyway. And it's probably going to come through my streaming system for free with it. So it's a lot more eyes on the sport right now due to the change of times. But like I said, I think yesteryear plays a part in it because now guys are saying, hey, we don't get the big money pay-per-view fights anymore. So I might have to fight 3 times to get that, right? Tank gets it, right? Name somebody outside of that. Bud Crawford gets it. Name somebody outside of that, right? It's nobody who is really doing box office numbers like those guys. So they're fighting more often. And here's the other part. They're not allowed to fight tomato cans. Yesteryear we knew Mike Tyson every time he fought, we paid for that fight every time knowing he was going to knock that son of a gun out in the first round. Right? We knew he was going to knock him out in the first round and we still watch. Nowadays, we're able to put these bigger fights together that are more interesting. You can market them more, you can promote them more, and they're just coming out to be much better fights. And then that's the other part. The fights are ending the way they used to end in yesteryear. That's why I say it's a two-part. Yesteryear used to fight. We got to what yesteryear we talking about? And then yesteryear, it was Muhammad Ali knocking out George Foreman. We wasn't going to the cards and having all these decisions and leaving it up to these judges to make these horrible decisions that bring down the sport of boxing because now it looks paid and fixed. This guy's in there can get knocked out. And when more knockouts you get, the more fun the sport of boxing is.
Yeah, you want to touch it? Or you want to move on?
Yeah, I do agree. The only thing I say is I think the sport does need that big heavyweight champion because that was always that was the baddest man on the planet. And what happened was when Tyson had it, he had it. I mean, he drove the sport. But Lennox Lewis taking that belt, and then it's like the belt left the United States, so it lost the cachet. You know what I mean? Now you had the Germans with the Klitschko and all those people had it, so it kind of waned. You know, we didn't have that. It was a badge. You know, the baddest man on the planet was a black dude from the States. You know, and now, you know, it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? So I think we kind of lost touch with that division. So we got to find that next dude. But now they all, you know, that big dude now is a defensive end or something else. Or playing basketball in the NBA, you know, doing something like that. So that big black heavyweight champion might not be out there for a minute. We thought Wilder, well, no, Wilder just had a punch. That's all he had. Wilder,
but listen, who carried the sport though, man? Like he brought eyes back to boxing.
He brought eyes back. I agree 100%. But he couldn't hold. He just, you know,
he can't fight. He can't fight.
He can't fight.
He can't fight.
Well, that's what I want to say.
He can't fight.
Right.
Exactly. So I think we just need another story. We need a bad mother to come up now and knock some folks out and get that.
And you know what else we need, Han? I'm gonna tell you what else we need, bro. We need more so than a bad mother MFer. We need a bad mother MFer personality. We need a big guy who's gonna talk that talk.
Yeah,
that's more so than winning the fight. Is somebody who's going to sell the fight, and we don't have any heavyweight that can sell the fight. Tank sells a fight. Yeah. Ryan Garcia sells a fight. Right? Shakur Stevenson can sell a fight. Bud Crawford can sell a fight. Right? We don't have that heavyweight because Deontay Wilder sold us the Fury fights when he just got his ass whooped. That's the difference. He got his ass whooped. So if he don't get his ass whooped, he's still carrying on.
Right.
But he lost. And in today's microwave society, you can't lose, bro. You can't lose.
Especially
all right,
twice.
There's another question in the chat.
You know what I think MMA took off? And the reason I think it took off is because the social media is a young man's thing. It's a young person's thing. And the young people kind of had this thing that came on there and they're like, man, they just fighting. So they didn't ever have a groundswell of boxing. MMA is their boxing. You know, when I was young, we watched fights. We watched boxing on regular television. You know, Muhammad Ali used to fight on ABC. Spinks used to fight on ABC. So it was something we saw. So we grew up with boxing. They grew up with MMA. MMA to me was like, I didn't take it serious. It's like, what, they just out there and wrestling and hitting. I didn't take it serious for me. It wasn't anything that I followed. You understand what I'm saying? Because they got it was a social media kind of thing. And my sons would tell me about these guys and tell me, man, you ain't seen this guy? No, I hadn't seen it. And he had to show me about it. So I think it's a perfect situation for them. They used the social media platform and it grew like wildfire. You know, so they got their following. It is what it is.
Yeah, I got you. All right, man. That's gonna end our hot news, man. And appreciate everybody. I see my boy Breeze in the chat, talking it up and chatting it up. So all y'all in the chat, man, we sure appreciate it. But that's gonna end our hot news, man. It is time to move on to our next item up the bid. And D Will, I know you said you could go come on for a minute and got the roll. So if you got to move on,
I got another 10 minutes. I can go for the whole first hour. I got another 15 minutes.
Okay, good deal. All right, well, let's jump into some ballers and busters. Yes, sir. Let me get my thing up here. Ooh, where we go? Okay, baller, busters, and bust stops. Yes, sir. All right, this week we got our baller, busters, and bust stop. And if you got them in the chat, go ahead and put them in the chat. Baller this week is for me. I'm gonna go Joe Mazzulla and Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens made a move to bring Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and gave up the heart and soul of the Celtics, which is Marcus Smart. And he chose defense and he chose defense and offense with Drew Holiday, rim protection and mismatch with Kristaps Porzingis. And boy, this show paid off. I tell you, it show paid off. So shots out, and a lot of people was definitely kind of had their face turned a little to the left when Brad Stevens decided to go up to the front office instead of coach the team. And a lot of people didn't know what he was going to do, how would he replace Danny Ainge and things of that nature. So it turned out that he ended up getting a championship. So it is what it is. So that's my baller for the week. Brad Stevens and Joe Mazzulla. Either one of y'all can go next.
You got a hand?
Yeah, my baller is Brown, man. JB, man, to get the conference MVP and then follow it up with 5 game championship series in the NBA Finals. Finals MVP after being left off of the All NBA voting, which was a travesty, I think, in itself. He proved that he should have gotten it, by the way he played throughout the series. You and I talked, and this is almost counteractive to what I'm saying. But you and I talked as the game was going on. I'm watching. I'm like, man, Jason Tatum gonna win this MVP. I mean, he's leading in everything, all the scoring, the rebounding, the assists. He's done everything. Okay, how can he not win MVP? But in this narrative-driven media, and everybody that jumps on, we've seen it time and time again. They push a narrative, and JB got, he got the votes and win it. So I'm giving him my baller for winning both conference MVP, conference championship MVP, and finals MVP, and being able to at least take that and throw it in the face of the people that did not vote him on any of the all NBA teams. I think that's crazy. So I'm giving him my baller just for that.
Awesome. That'll work. Yeah, that'll work.
I wish we were in another segment because I want to elaborate on what Hancock just said. And I'm gonna do it subtly by giving it during my baller. Because my baller is Jason Tatum. And the reason my baller is Jason Tatum is for the exact reasons that Hancock just mentioned. That boy was the MVP. Stop it. If you watched basketball, Jason Tatum was the best player on the floor for any team, bro. He was the best player on the floor. But for some odd reason, we continue to disrespect Jason Tatum. And it's all about what Hancock just said, the damn narrative that these damn networks continue to push in our damn face every damn day. JB didn't make an all, so we're going to give him conference player. We're going to give him MVP. We're going to say, Lord have mercy, we are sorry, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, we are on our knees begging for your forgiveness for leaving you off. So here is the finals MVP, and here is the conference finals MVP. When we know damn well that was an Andre Iguodala, Steph Curry situation when we knew Jason Tatum should have had the damn MVP. So my buster, I'm skipping all y'all ass. My boss is the damn NBA for giving it to Jaylen Brown. Period.
Woo!
I get so sick of these. They bring these narratives and they push them in our face over and over, and they make us believe it, and then we sit on our show and damn debate it when it ain't no damn debate. Stop it.
Ain't no debate. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sorry for yelling.
The man was the leading. He led in every category, man. Every major category. Come on, man. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Jerry West did it and lost, and they gave him the MVP.
So
Jerry West, listen, LeBron did it in 2017 when they lost to the Golden State Warriors, and they said he should have got it. But Jason Tatum done it, and all because he light-skinned and went to Duke, he don't get it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, shout out to my dark-skinned brother on Juneteenth. That's why I got my hoodie on. Salute Trayvon.
There it is.
My man.
That breathes, but we shouldn't use his name on our show because he's not liked on this show.
Yeah. And he ain't got it like me.
Exactly. I'd rather hear you than hear this clown. But anyway, that was good. All right, going to my busters. My buster this week, and I'm gonna piggyback off you guys, is all of the guys who will continue or who have continued to make a critique and criticizing Jason Tatum, even when he has a championship now. You know, my thing is we go from can they play together to now who's the best player on the team. Well, isn't it a team sport? You're just trying to win the championship. It doesn't matter who the best player of the team is. You're just trying to who's the best team of the year. So, I mean, for all these narratives being drawn is what is it? Has Jason Tatum silenced the critics and all this other kind of stuff? The man got a championship. Ain't nothing you can do about that. The man has a championship now. And now I hear the narrative is he has to do it again to get an MVP on his resume. I'm like, bro, I mean, it just doesn't go away. It never goes away. I'm like, bro, this media is. That's why you got to choose who you listen to.
They're going to continue to move the goalposts, and that's what they do every time. They try to find something to pull you back on, or they'll bring in something else to compare it to and say this is the reason why. But the bottom line, like you said, they can't take his championship. They can't take the stats, and they can't tell you. Just like D. Will and I felt like Steph should have been MVP, and I felt like Jason Tatum should have been MVP here. So it is what it is, but you're gonna always have that narrative. And now JT has to go forward next year with this same thing. He'll get back to the finals and he'll face question after question of, is this a legacy defining moment? Do you think you need to win MVP to build your legacy? They're gonna put him on the spot, and they're gonna be show after show after show going into it. It is what it is. But my buster, and this one might not be agreed with, but I have to give it to him, man, because he came up small in every game in Boston, and that's Kyrie Irving, man. I just got to give it up. In Boston, he did not do what he needed to do. And I know, like I said in the beginning of the show, him and Luka couldn't afford to have bad games. I honestly need to share this because at least you have to try to play defense, and Luka didn't try on a lot of occasions. So maybe they need to share it a little bit. But they were fighting with one hand behind their back. They had to be perfect in order to even try to win this series. So I'm giving a half and half. But only reason I'm giving to a little bit more to Kyrie, because I think he let the Boston crowd in the situation get to him. I'd never seen him kind of off his game the way he was in there. He kind of looked like he was affected by the situation and the crowd. So, yeah, I'll go with that.
I gotta elaborate. You're right, Han. The Jason Tatum thing is so frustrating, but at the end of the day, it's not. And you know why? He made first team All-NBA, so guess what he's about to get? Paid. He got a championship, and he's going to be the highest paid player in the NBA and highest paid player in NBA history. So he going to be good, right? He still got his bone. However, the buster of the week, it has to go to Frank Martin. Bro, listen, that boy Tank made you flinch out your clothes during the press conference. He act like he was about to hit you in a press conference and you almost peed on yourself. Now listen, I understand. Frank Martin can whoop my ass. That ain't saying much. So me saying this and talking about him, okay, cool. Y'all, well, he can beat your ass. You damn right he can. But that ain't gonna do him nothing. He can't whoop Tank ass because that boy made him flinch out his clothes during the press conference. And then let's go to the fight. Tank flinched it. That boy balled up in the ring, running like this from a flinch. So my thing is, he gets the bust of the week because everybody's like saying, well, what he supposed to do? If somebody act like they're going to hit you in your face, you going to react? No, you ain't. He a prize fighter. He's supposed to eat that, right? And in the damn press conference, you know what Tank ain't going to do? He ain't going to hit you because he can't. Because he can't hit you because he going to lose his money if he do. So he ain't. So what you flinching for? You know he ain't going to hit you. That boy was scared before he stepped in that ring, and it showed when he got his ass knocked out. So Frank the Ghost Martin, get my bust of the week. And yeah, you might can whoop my ass, Frank, but you got your ass whooped on Saturday night.
Yeah, that was it. That boy Tank hit him with he hit it with the uppercut, then make him drop his hands, and then came with the left hook. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful.
They got to quit going down there, man. You cannot go down to 135 with Tank, man. I'm telling you, unless somebody else is his weight, you can't do it. I'm telling you.
You can't do it. You can't Don't do it. And like Shakur Stevenson walks around like that. However, bro, Shakur ain't powerful enough to take them blows, dog. I love Shakur. I think he is the next great fighter. However, he might want to wait a little while before he go please see Tank. Just Tank even said it. Tank said he might want to wait till later. He might want to catch me later on. Because if I catch him right now, I'm gonna fold his little ass up.
Yeah, he built different, man. He really is. He built different.
All right, fellas, for our boss stop, I got a tie. I got Mr. Luka Doncic and Stephen A. Smith. Luka for impersonating James Harden on defense. And Stephen A. for hollering and screaming at halftime each and every chance he got and trying to backpedal and kiss up to Jaylen Brown now that Jaylen Brown is the MVP and has won the championship. So, you know, I think he's a bust and a bust stop for that. He get a bust and a bust stop. That's crazy. All right, gotta stop for a minute. Gotta give Marty a shout out. 3rd year wedding anniversary.
Shout out.
He heading to dinner.
Shout out, Marty.
Yes, sir. So what's up, Marty? I was going to announce it. I was waiting until you got into the building, but I already saw it. I was going to announce it, but there it is. All right, Han, go ahead with your boy stop.
Yeah, I can't touch the media, man, with these narratives, man. That's my boy stop. That it's sickening, man, how they can take one thing. Like Luka's offense was phenomenal. You were talking about how great he shoots and all this here. And when he didn't play defense, you knocked him. Okay. Jason Tatum didn't shoot well, but he did everything elsewhere. And you say he played horrible. They take these narratives and drive them, and then people that I respect a lot of times fall in line with it. And I'm like, what are you looking at? What are you listening to? They're saying the same thing they glorify one person for, they denigrate another one for. It's the same, but and you sit there and you champion what they're saying. It made no sense to me to continually say Jason Tatum was playing horrible. He was having an awful series. I didn't see it then. He was shooting bad. Yeah, he did. His jump shot wasn't going, but he was playing basketball on every other level that you can name. Defense, playmaking, everything you ask of him, making plays for others, rebounding, he did it all. But you said he had a horrible series. He was playing horrible. I just don't understand. He had 2 30-point games in the series. 2. Led all of them in assists, rebound. It made no sense to me. So to me, the media driving these narratives, boy, stop.
Boy, stop.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's
All
hard.
right. All right. And mine is along the same lines as Hand, but Hand took the fork right. I'm going to take the fork left. And my boy stop is to the media with all these damn dumbass predictions. Bro, can we just analyze the game on what we just saw? And what am I talking about? One Kendrick Perkins. The one big perk. Going on there. Oh, I believe the Boston Celtics going to win 3 of the next 4 championships. What the hell are you talking about? The stats that they come up with to fill time on all these shows is they got too many statisticians working for the 4-letter network ESPN. It's too many statisticians working for them. Because now I'm hearing y'all on, this is what they get on there and tell us, y'all. Well, Boston can win 3 of the next 4 championships. Are we looking at the next dynasty? However, nobody has went back to back in the last 6 years since 2017, 2018. They saying that like it's the 1969 Boston Celtics. It was just a couple of years ago. You just said it hadn't been won in 6 years since 2017, 2018. Ain't that 6 years ago? Y'all be telling us this dumbass stuff that y'all just keep going back. You said the same thing in a different way and expect us to think you smart. You ain't said nothing. Predicting 3 out of 4 years, and then you gonna come back when they don't make the conference finals. You gonna act like you ain't never said it. Just like you just said about old Stephen A. Smith. Y'all just be hedging bets. Y'all be on there filling time saying anything to sound smart, and at the end of the day, all y'all ass be dead ass wrong. And then you come back here and try to give us some frivolous stat that means absolutely nothing to cover up what your dumb ass said in the beginning. So my stop with all these frivolous ass stats that mean nothing. Talk about the game and move along.
There it is. All right, coach said Tiger need to stop playing for a while and rest.
Not a while. Not a while. He needs to stop. It's time.
Forever.
He needs to stop.
It's
okay,
forever.
He needs to stop forever. Okay.
It's time.
Yep. Yeah, I need to piggyback off what D. Will just said about the meeting. You too, Hancock. It's football season coming up, and Aaron Rodgers is taking over the network news like no other. Caitlin Clark finna take a back seat because Aaron Rodgers finna get all the TV talk time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know why, to be honest with you. Well, I do know why. Let me take that back. I do know why. Especially today, I do know why. But then Aaron Rodgers played what? A quarter and a half last year.
No. A series,
my bad.
He played one series.
He played one series last year, and we talking about Aaron Rodgers. They talk about he's not in camp, he this and that. We talk about him like he went to the Super Bowl, like he's missing. What are the Jets gonna do? And one of the biggest bets on any kind of betting site is, are the Jets gonna make the playoffs? I'm like, bro, can we give it a rest? Can we get past June without trying, like you said, with all these predictions and all this other kind of stuff? Can we, the football season don't start in September, but we already in June talking about Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets and what they will and can't do and what they will do with Aaron Rodgers. It's sickening. It is sickening. So I'm gonna add that to my boy stop as well. We got any more honorable mentions before we move on?
Hey, I got a funny one. Hey, it's wrong. It's dirty. But I got somebody gave a boy stop to Drew Holiday on Juneteenth for his white wife. I ain't gonna say who it was, but I'm just gonna say on Juneteenth, they got him a boy stop for his white wife. I'm not gonna say nothing else. My hands, listen, that ain't mine. Don't put that on D. Will the coach. But somebody just text that to me, and I'm gonna leave it like that.
There it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Juneteenth.
All right. Yeah, June 10th. All right, man. Let's go in our ballers, busters, and boy stop. Man, we appreciate y'all for participating. And Marty, have a great dinner. Drink. If you go out to dinner, drink with a straw. Don't use the Don't drink out the glass. Use a straw.
Oh, and use plastic silverware. I don't care how fancy the restaurant is.
Yeah.
I agree.
How about just order in? Stay home. Shout out, Cubs.
Yeah. All right, man. All right, D-Will, before you leave, you wanna talk about Willie Mays and show us talk about Willie Mays and what he meant to baseball before you leave. I know there's something that your dad may need to talk about instead of you, but I mean, you probably heard your dad talk about the Say Hey Kid or whatever the case may be. He passes away at age 93. Barry Bonds' godfather, and all those magnificent accolades that he has meant to baseball. And me and Han had already said that even coming up, he was on the tail end of his career when Han saw him, and if I did see him, I don't even remember, but I'm sure he was at the tail end. But what a wonderful, wonderful career, and what a wonderful name that he has created. One of the more iconic catches in baseball history, the over-the-shoulder catch, and whatever the case may be. And that's been a great, great thing. So RIP to the great Say Hey Kid, Mr. Willie Mays.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about it because y'all know me and baseball don't get along. But of course, I do know of Willie Mays, and I will say rest in peace to him. One of those iconic figures from that era that pushed Black people forward, not just in sports, but in society as a whole. So he did more for Black people than just being a baseball figure and a Hall of Famer. But on that note, I do got to say this before I get out of here. RIP to Bill Walton. Bill Walton, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. And I know a lot of people didn't like it, right? But however, with us being in the media, and we bomb on the media like we ain't a part of it, right? Like I get that part, but we don't drive those type of narratives. I'm just gonna keep it real, right? We're like Big H Joe say, we don't make up the rumors, we just talk about them, right? So I get that part, but I gotta say to Bill Walton, his commentary career was something to be marveled about. A lot of people hated it. They didn't like his approach. They didn't like his style. They didn't like how he talked about everything outside of what was going on the court of the game that he was calling. However, I think it was a unique way to call games, man. And he did it like none other. So I do want to say RIP to Bill Walton, even though his career was cut short. But a lot of those guys from that era, those careers were cut short. Isaiah Thomas was cut short. Larry Bird was cut short. Magic Johnson was cut short. Bill Walton was cut short. A lot of those guys weren't able to play an extensive, a long period of time due to the injuries they had. But he was one of the greatest basketball players of all time and one of the great commentators, in my opinion, of all time. So I did want to say RIP to Bill Walton.
All right, Cuz said he didn't like the way that the Pistons or didn't like the way the NBA is doing Monty Williams. I say they did say the Pistons did him a favor.
Hell yeah. he going home to make $65 million. Damn right they did him a favor. And he ain't got to coach that garbage that they got to put out on the court every week. Man, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so they did him a favor, Cuz. So I'm not sure if that's he's been getting some bad luck, but his pocket has been getting some great luck. I tell you that. Mm-hmm. $65 million for the next 5 years.
To chill.
I mean, you can't, So many people say,
what's the verdict on? What's the verdict on Cade Cunningham, y'all? Because I wouldn't high on him coming out, but I see some flashes in the NBA. So is it any way for him to go away from Detroit, get in a better situation with a good team or a team that might need a player his caliber, and he turn his career around or become something? Is it the chance?
Well, I think you're selling him a tad bit short because he was Rookie of the Year just 2 years ago, right? He was the number one pick. However, we need to understand this. He playing damn Detroit, right? And until he's able to get out of that cesspool of Detroit, we ain't gonna know about Cade Cunningham. He probably won't make an all-star team, which he probably will deserve to. but I'm just gonna keep it real. No. Like, he's good. If he goes to another situation, we'll see the potential of Cade Cunningham. He's a 6'8" point guard with a big body who's crazy athletic, who has an improving jump shot, who can find everybody on the court and guard just about every position. However, he's with the Detroit Pistons. If he was anywhere else in the NBA, even if he was down in Orlando, he would be getting the same love that Pablo Banchero is getting. He ain't even getting that type of love. So until he's able to get out of there, which he's going to get out of there, I think he's going to demand his way out of there once his rookie contract is up, and then we'll see the full potential of Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because I have seen flashes. I'm more high on him now than I was coming out of college, to be honest with you, because I saw him. Like when he played somebody came into the building and you could see, okay, tonight you're gonna get this. And he wanted to show that whoever was he was playing against, it was a star came in and he balled out. So I can see it there. And like you said, the body, what he can do is there. But I'm just wondering, he got to get out of there. He got to get out of there.
Got to.
Big homie, I always say to you, you have to identify that next guy that you might be able to put on your team, your Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or whatever. What franchise is going to be willing to say, look, man, come on over here and you be my guy? That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering where it can go and that can happen.
Yeah. Before you leave, D-Will, I forgot to give a Buster Award to the Philadelphia 76ers, who took Ben Simmons over Jaylen Brown and took Marcus Fultz over Jason Tatum. The Sixers, yeah.
But man, listen, when is the NBA draft? Friday? I think it's Friday.
Friday 28th.
28th, next Friday. Okay, so I'll say this. That thing is a crapshoot, bro, right? And Jaylen Brown went number 3. You know what I mean? Jason Tatum went 3 also, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he went 3.
So, like, it's really about, it's not an exact science, bro, right? You put your big board out there and you hope those guys pan out. And it's not about if the player is good enough to play or if he's good enough to carry. It's about the situation you bring him into. You put Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum in Detroit, and they're going to be Cade Cunningham. Let's just keep it real, right? You put Cade Cunningham in Boston with another running mate, he going to be Jason Tatum. That's just how the NBA goes. If you go to the right situation, you thrive. If you don't, you fail. It's simply that.
It's actually next Wednesday, the 26th.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna see it again, bro. It's gonna happen. And this draft so damn weak, it ain't even worth watching.
I guess we'll be doing an SRT draft show.
I don't know why ain't nobody getting drafted when we're talking about it. You know what this draft gonna be? You might as well call this the NBA G League draft, because every one of their ass gonna play half the season in the G League, guaranteed. The entire lottery will play in the G League next year. Anybody in the chat want to bet me? Put it up. I got it. I'm matching all and any bets that every player drafted in the first 14 picks in the 2024 NBA draft will play in the G League that season.
That's strong.
All right. Before you leave, I do my question of the day. I didn't put it on the show sheet, but I got a question of the day. You got Bryce James, Elijah Arenas, Cameron Boozer, and how you pronounce it?
And Caden Boozer.
Caden Boozer. Cayenne, and Rondo, son. And who else?
Yeah, it was Elijah Arenas, Bryce James, Trevor Ariza's son, and the Boozer twins were all sons of former NBA players.
Yeah,
that were on the U17 team.
Who do you like? Which NBA player son are you looking most forward to seeing?
Looking most forward to see, I would say Elijah Arenas, if I have to pick of those, because I think he's the most intriguing of the bunch. I think Cameron Boozer, the bigger Boozer, is the best player out of that group. However, on that U17, I'm more looking for to look at Caleb Holt. Caleb Holt is from Huntsville, Alabama. He's a 2026 kid. They got him ranked the number 2 player in the country behind Tyron Stokes in the class of 2026. They got him pegged as an automatic lottery draft, a 6'5" wing who is now transitioning to the point guard position. He's a back-to-back state champion, 6A state champion here in the state of Alabama. All rumors are leading to him bolting from Alabama and heading over to Georgia to play at McEachin next year. It was between Grayson and McEachin on where he was going to transfer to, and y'all know that's pissing me off to my core. Go listen to the Eyeball podcast that we just dropped on Monday. We talk about this very thing about our best players in the state of Alabama bolting to other states to play because we are so far behind in lifting the game of basketball here in the state of Alabama on the high school level that everybody bolts to go to other states to play. And now it looks like all roads are leading to the back-to-back 6A state champion in the class of 2026 who's just going to the 11th grade, already bolting to go to damn Georgia, which y'all don't need him in damn Georgia to go play at McEachin for no damn reason. But I digress. I'm going to get back to my point. I'm interested in seeing him, and I'm also interested in seeing Tyron Stokes and AJ Diabonse. Those are the number 1 players in the class of 2025 and 2026. And it's one more player that I'm interested in on that team, and that's Dwayne Brown, a 6'10" big body kid from Hoover, Alabama, who is the number 1 player in the state of Alabama in the class of 2025, who's already committed to Tennessee, who got his first invite to Colorado in the USA U17. So that's big for him also. Unfortunately, I think once he comes back to town, which they just got back they just got back yesterday from Colorado, I'm afraid that he's about to bolt and go somewhere else too, and he's gonna leave the state of Alabama and gonna play elsewhere, prep school or somewhere in Georgia, because we so damn slow. But out of the question that you asked, I'm more interested to see Elijah Arenas, but I just wanted to give y'all some more names to check out on that U17. That's gonna be big names coming up here in the next couple of years of top NBA players headed to the draft.
There you go. All right, Mr. Hand, what you got?
D-Will,
you got a bet.
D-Will, looks like to me you need to start the Eyeball Basketball Academy if you want things to happen and change in Alabama.
Well, we got a basketball academy, but here's the thing. I went to the press conference for our new executive director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association just a week and a half ago, and it's Mr. Heath Harmon. Mr. Heath Harmon is the principal from Oxford High School here in Alabama, and he's a damn football coach. He don't give a damn about basketball, so we still ain't gonna get no damn shot clock. We still ain't gonna be able to play outside the state worth any damn thing, so we still gonna be in the same position because the last 4 classes, 23, 24, 25, and 26, all the number 1 players in the state of Alabama, all they ass gonna bolt to other states to play somewhere else. So, I went to the press conference. I talked to Heath Harmon. I brought this to his damn attention, and I still believe he ain't gonna do ish about it because they like us slow and behind. They won't even pass an NIL deal. Y'all got NIL in Georgia for young kids. Damn right, Caleb Hope finna go make $100,000 in Georgia. Damn right, I'm finna go. So don't get me upset, but I agree.
All right, you got a bet on in the chat. Coach said bet.
Hey, Coach, that's a bet, but I need to pump that. I need you to move that decimal back about 4 slots and add a couple of zeros, and then we can talk.
But
listen, I'll take that on Starbucks. Just hit me on Cash App to my Starbucks once I win.
There it is, for sure. All right, Weez, I know you got to get up out of here.
Yep. Appreciate y'all, man.
Before you leave, man, let everybody know what you got going on, what you're doing, and where you are, and what you got going. Dad say somebody check D-Will blood pressure right now because he on fire.
I'm up, Dez. I'm up. But yeah, man, y'all already know, man. Go check me out on the Eyeball Podcast, Little IBALL Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, across all podcasts and streams. Like I say, man, go listen to the episode we just dropped on Monday, talking about this very thing about high school basketball players going elsewhere and moving around and doing those things and making money on the high school level. So go check that out if you're interested. And also, man, go check out everything we got going. Go check out the Eyeball Radio YouTube page at Eyeball Radio on YouTube. Go check that out so you can see all our videos. And of course, across all social media, go check us out at Eyeball Radio and see what we got going on. And of course, Don't forget, Guard Your Man. Go check it out, man. Our nonprofit organization doing great things here for the underserved youth here in the city of Montgomery and the River region and surrounding areas. So be on the lookout, man. We might be coming to a place near you. But, man, we got an event coming up in September, man, and I want to get all y'all involved in. This is the first announcement of it. In September, we're going to be doing a father-son banquet, man, and we're looking to get a big-time speaker to come in and do that for a lot of kids that otherwise wouldn't be able to get to be able to see a big time celebrity or basketball player like that, man. So we're looking to get Trae Young. So Trae Young, if you're watching, man, give us a holler, man. We'd love to have you come down and speak at our father-son banquet in September to give these underserved youth in our area something to look forward to in a positive face to see.
Good deal.
And y'all go check that out at guardyourman.org.
There it is. All right, Weezy, we'll holler at you soon, bro.
All right, man. Next week, man, I'll be back. Peace.
All right, good deal. There he is. D. Will, the coach, said be back next week with us, hand. Yes, sir. That's my man.
That's what's up.
Yes, sir. Now it's time to dive into some. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the banner. Our roundtable discussion, Mr. Hancock. Yes, sir. Our roundtable discussion sponsored by Mr. Bo Bell Basketball. Bo Bell Basketball says that if you use your footwork, it is off the chain. Use your footwork, and footwork is the key to all success in basketball. So, Mr. Bo Bell, go to CoachBoBellBasketball.com for more information. And he has 3 different locations, North, South, and Midtown. CoachBoBellBasketball.com. And you can check him out and make sure you let him know SRT sent you. And he'll kindly look out for you. All right, Han, we got our roundtable discussion. Let's start out with a little baseball first. In honor of Mr. Willie Mays. What's going on with the baseball injuries these days? We got Mookie Betts out, Ronald Acuna out, the catcher for the Phillies is out. Juan Soto was out earlier this year. And all the big names for big teams.
Yeah,
have
Judge
something
is out
going
too,
on
right?
with the injury. Huh?
Did you call Judge?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Judge was out for a minute too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's like it's just coming in waves, man, and they're getting hit with inside pitches. You know, it must be guarding the plate a little bit, you know, crowding the plate. I don't know. Like Mookie got hit on the hand. I think Judge got hit. So those injuries are just baseball related, where the pitcher's trying to establish the inside part of the plate. So it is what it is. Things like that happen.
Oh yeah,
You just
Mike Trout out for the year too. Coach said,
Right.
yeah, he out for the year. So yeah,
That-
all these
that's
baseball
nothing new.
injuries these baseball injuries is just like, I mean, to your top players though. That's the thing. It's for your top players. And so how do a top team like Atlanta, Philadelphia, LA, how do they survive trying to win a pennant when their best player is hurt?
It's gonna be tough, man, because like we saw the Braves overcome 3 years ago, and win the series without their best player. So I think somebody has to step up, you know, and be the straw, a bag, lack of a better term, straw that stirs the drink. You got to have somebody to lead and be that guy. And I'm not sure that most franchises have that. You know, you got to make some moves that can cover some of those things. So I'm not sitting here and say that I got the answers to how they can get through these things. I mean, a lot of it is pitching, man. You got to have some arms, and if you don't have the arms, you're not going to compete anyway. So I mean that might be the way to look at it. You might have to find a way to strengthen your bullpen.
Yeah,
and get some starting pitches.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. You got to strengthen those bullpens. You got to find a way to get through these, eat up some innings and get through some games and have some time to hit it. You know, that's what it looks like to me. But, man, it's bad when you lose as many marquee players, because now you have this dead period in sports. You have the NBA championship just finished. NFL will be coming around soon. But if you don't have marquee players that get the public excited and wanting to watch, then you're going to lose that. You know, and this is a perfect time to kind of garner that. And, man, you lose Mookie Betts. You lose
Yeah.
Judge for any period of time. You lose, Ronald Acuna coming off an MVP season. I mean, that's tough, man, because you want marquee names out there for people to watch and people to be interested in. So if they're not going to be there, it's going to be a blow for baseball, to be honest. And people are just using this as a pastime to get to the next sport, which will be the NFL and college football.
So with these big injuries going down, it has to hurt the marketing for baseball already because they don't market well as it is. And with the big names going down, it makes it still kind of unwatchable or not. Makes it unwatchable. Yeah.
That's what I mean. You got to have marquee names. It's kind of like what we were touching on with boxing. Boxing fell off because we didn't have any connection to the fighters, and the same thing is happening. Baseball was being hard anyway because a lot of the guys were from, the Dominican or somewhere else. At least Mookie Betts, was homegrown, Judge homegrown, but they got to be relatable to some way or have some kind of story for you to have some kind of connection to them. And with these guys that we've grown accustomed to and kind of known over the years, over these last few years, have been big names. Now that if they're out, that presents a problem, man. That's a real problem. You came baseball, you get 4 at-bats. For 4 at-bats, you want to see what Acuna is going to do. Whether he gets on the base pass, you're glued, you're locked in. Mookie Betts the same way. You get 4 times to watch it. It's not like the NFL football where that player is on for a continuous series and you're going to be able to watch him, for this amount of time or whatever. Baseball is that situational type game. And if you don't have guys for those situations, who's going to watch? The game, they've done everything to try to draw interest, from putting a pitch count on, clock on, to putting a man on second base to end the games to keep it from going long. They've done everything they can to try to draw the interest of the microwave society that we have with these kids. Kids don't want to sit there and watch it. They're not, there's no connection with their parents. My grandfather sat there, so I got into baseball because of him, watching him watch the Braves and listening to the Cardinals on the radio, things of that thing. But there's no connection now, man. It's microwave society. And if they don't have these marquee players, it's going to be a problem.
Hey, so I heard somebody today, and I wish I had Bob on to answer this question. I heard somebody today say that because of Ronald Acuna injuries, would the Braves be willing to re-identify him as a power hitter, take him off the leadoff spot, put him in the 4-hole like they did Barry Bonds, because Barry Bonds was leadoff hitter when he first got to the Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Take him off the leadoff spot so you can take him off the base paths and make him reinvent him into a 50 home run hitter and 100 RBI guy instead of 50 home runs and 40 stolen bases. What's your thoughts on that?
It's an idea. Leading into this season, I was asking you about whether they were limiting him running. Remember I told you early in the year, I thought there was some situations where he probably would have taken off last year, but this year he wasn't. And, not to say that anything happened because of that, this ACL or whatever happened, but I think you have to limit the wear and tear on guys like that. That base running, man, him running and stealing all those bases and then chasing down balls in the outfield, going and, maybe going after a ball early in the year that he maybe shouldn't have, but just concede the base hit, things of that nature. You have to protect guys, and especially when they're the reason that you're going to have success. He's that talented. So I can see that maybe happening, moving him down, keeping him out of those positions, let him be more of a driving in runs rather than being, setting the table. I told you before, baseball changed. Really, back in the day, the only guy we saw at the top of the lineup that would hit home runs and do the things that we see with leadoff hitters now was Ricky Henderson. Ricky could go out of the park, but most times your first 2 batters were table setters. The guy, the first player was trying to get on, the next guy was getting him over, and then the third place hitter was driving him in. And if he didn't drive him in, you had a cleanup hitter. So that's the way baseball used to be. It changed overnight to me when they started putting these power hitters up there at the number one slot. So I don't know. I think maybe to protect him, maybe you do move him down the lineup and try to make him more of a run producer.
Yeah, I definitely got to ask Bob about that. They say he played during the offseason last year, but I think took his offseason off this year. Okay. Well, I'm not against it, but my question would be, does he have a different mindset? That will it change his swing? With, you know, what kind of mental mindset or makeup does he have to shift in order to become just a strictly power hitter like Bonds did, opposed to a table setter where you just get on base and you can.
But he's not. But how many home runs he hit last year?
41.
So my point on it is, you put that in the middle of the lineup. He's still swinging. He's up there swinging. He's hitting home runs from the leadoff position. That's my point. I don't think it changes much. He probably getting better pitches now if you got people on base. You understand what I mean? That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's a win-win. If you're putting people on base in front of him, he's already shown he's hit for power and he's hit for average. You know, so I don't think that would be a problem. I think that's what made Bonds that great. He hit for power and average. You know, so hey, I'm not saying he's Barry Bonds, but man, he's shown he's a league MVP. He hit over 40 home runs. So I just don't think that would be an issue.
Do you think he will be opposed to it or be willing to do it?
It may have to be presented to him like this is something to help your career along or whatever. But what it all boils down, if he's healthy, he's probably going to be. How long he got left on this contract? You know, the one that I thought he never should have signed was a 10-year deal for 100-something million.
8 years, 100 million.
So he got about what, 4 years left? Four left.
Yeah, I'm finna look it up now.
Yeah, so with that, I mean, it's all about money anyway. I don't think his numbers are going to change or whatever, so I don't see that being a problem if they move him and
through 2026.
He doesn't see how much?
Through 2026, he'll be 30 years old at that point.
2026, so he got what, 2.5 more years, 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to offer him a deal prior to that, I'm sure. So, you know, it's all about what he wants to do. It'll be in his court, you know. So, man, it doesn't seem like it's been that fast. That contract went through that quick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cuz said it will save his knees for sure.
Yeah, I think it saves a lot of wear and tear on him. So, yeah, move him down. Sometimes DH him. If you put him in the middle of the lineup, sometimes DH him because you're not worried about getting him on base for speed. So, yeah, I think that saves him a lot.
All right, let's talk about NBA news came down today. Pascal Siakam is ready to sign a 4-year deal worth $189 million, a max contract for the Indiana Pacers. Good deal, not sure deal.
Yeah, I mean, he's their legit number 2. If you can lock him up, he's still what? How old is he now? About 28, 29? But we 29. Don't know. We don't really know if that's his age anyway. You know, he's from another country. And sometimes they lie on those birth certificates, man. We don't know. But still, what I'm saying is, I mean, you have to lock him up. He's your second best player.
Oh, he's 30.
You know, he's 30?
Yeah, he's 30.
Yeah, if he's 30, he might be 32, 33. We don't know. I mean, seriously, man. Remember Serge? Serge was supposed to be young when he went to Oklahoma City. He was like somebody's granddad 3 years later. So I don't know, man. You never know with these folks coming in the country. You don't know how old they are. But I think he's still got a lot of games. So he could be a good running mate. They made a good run last year when they picked him up. So I'm not against it. I think it's a good deal.
All right, afterthoughts. Your afterthoughts on the series. Now that the series is over, what is your afterthoughts going into next season?
Well, the series went pretty much just like I thought it would. I think the Celtics, depending on if Porzingis comes back, I know he's got to have off-season surgery. If he comes back, mid-year or whatever, and can continue to give them what they have, well, I don't know how long he'll be out. Might get back before mid-year, but they won't rush him back. But with those two guys and the way they shoot it, they still have to sign back, I think, White. I don't know about him. They got to get him back. But they still relatively young, still have a good nucleus. I think Boston will be a player in the East again. I like this. I want to see what Denver does to retool a little bit. They have to tweak what they did because they have to some kind of way combat Minnesota. Minnesota was built to beat them. Minnesota has to tweak. So there are a lot of storylines because we saw some advances. Is the West done with the Lakers and Golden State? Are they out of the picture? The Clippers, has that run its course? Is Paul George going to leave there? Because I think Paul George is out, and I don't know if they sign Kawhi back, and they're moving into a new arena. So what do they do? You want to have some marquee talent, so they got to come up with a plan. Then there's your OKC. OKC is the team that everybody's kind of kept one eye on the whole time to see what they might be. And they're young. They got a lot of, draft capital. They got, money to spend. So they're going to be something to watch. And I'm going to give you two dark horses. I told you about Memphis. I keep telling you, Ja coming back. So watch them. But the other thing is the Houston Rockets. And I like the Rockets because I like what Ime Udoka. I think he's going to garner a lot of I won't say, respect from his players. I think he's that type of dude. You can see he don't take nothing. His players, he gonna hold them accountable. They were able to get, a couple of people out of there that they needed to get out of there. That Porter Jr. dude, they got him out of there. So I think that was the best thing they could do. Jalen Green, if he can get his life together, the off-court stuff, as long as he doesn't let the off-court stuff hamper him, he's a bucket. So I think with him and Sengun and things they have, watch Houston going forward. Because I think Ime, I think he's a credible coach. I think you have to watch and see what happens with them. So they're a team I think you have to watch for.
Can we take a step back and give Ime Udoka a Boy Scout award for not keeping it in his pants, and all he had to do was just keep it straight, and he would have probably been a champion probably 2 times by now.
Yeah, it's tough, man. That he sees it's kind of like the Mark Jackson syndrome. Mark did the defense, built that thing in, and then Steve Kerr came in and took it to another level. It seems like the same thing is kind of happening in Boston with bringing in Porzingis and getting Drew Holiday. Those were the missing pieces and got them over the top. And now they have a championship, and Ime kind of set the groundwork, getting everything established, with the young players. So I'm sure he's looking at that like, I helped I was kind of the architect. I helped build this thing. And now, they were able to push forward. I'm sure he's proud, but it's probably looking at a little side eye too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see what else we got. We've already talked about the Tatum and the Brown thing, as far as it went from can they play together to they need to break up to now one of them got to be the best player. And I'm like, bro, does it even matter at this point?
That's the way the narrative is, man. We see it happen time and time again, big homie. It happens over and over and over where, they move the goalposts. A guy comes up and proves these people wrong. And instead of them bowing down and saying, they proved me wrong, he did what he's supposed to do, then they find another narrative to try to drive a point. Yeah, but he didn't do this. What about this? So, that's what I mean about this media, man. They can say and do or whatever, but hey, they had the platform to do it, so it happens, And it's a shame because in all walks of life, you can't continue to just say, well, you did this. I don't think you can do this. You did this. Well, now I'm gonna see you can't do this. You can't win it by yourself or whatever. Next thing will be, do they drive a wedge between JB and JT? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it going to be? If you're going to keep saying that, is it going to come a time where Jason Tatum says, I'm not passing the ball. I'm going after it because I need to prove them wrong. And in the efforts to prove people wrong, he tears up the team. You know what I mean? Because he's trying to win that league MVP or win the championship MVP, the finals MVP. We saw it with Steph. The one good thing about Steph, he didn't have to worry about a co-star being on the squad. You knew that it was his squad. It was unquestioned he was the leader. But in the Celtics situation, now there's been a question of who's the guy. And I don't think that'll do any favors for Tatum going forward. He has to stay, happened with Kobe and Shaq, happened with Penny and Shaq, So, I hope this doesn't affect them, but who's to say, man? I don't know.
Yeah. Coaching situations. What do you see? Do you see Sam Cassell possibly leaving?
Yeah, he might be in Detroit. They made a way. They got a coaching vacancy now. He's been a man standing there. And normally what happens is that they start picking from a successful tree. And Boston just now winning the title. That's where he is, Boston, right? Still in Boston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they start picking from the tree. So who's next in line? They haven't given him a chance. So it's time. It's been time, I think. So maybe he gets a shot now. And with Detroit being open, maybe that's where he goes.
That'll be is that a job you would want to take though?
Jobs don't come up often, big homie, and he hadn't had a chance. He has to take it. You understand? I mean, it's not going to be whether it's a good job or not for black head coaches. They have to take what's given. He can't afford to sit there and wait and say, well, this ain't the one. The one might never come. So, I think he got to go. He got to, if it's presented to him, he has to take it. I don't think he has a choice.
Is JJ Redick the next Laker coach?
It seems to be leaning that way, man. You the Duke guy, you need to tell me that. I mean, what are you hearing? Because all signs point that he is.
Well, I'm hearing that that JJ wants to coach, but he don't want to go into a situation where he's not being respected as a guy. He would rather stay out. He'd rather wait on the right situation than just take anything just to get into coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not taking anything, but from what I'm hearing is that the locker room is mostly the more melon kind of guys are not feeling that JJ would be a respectable coach.
Well, he doesn't have any pelts on his wall, big homie. It's like you bringing in a guy that has not earned his stripes, So that's the thing. I mean, they have to. He's been at the league now, 4 years?
The problem with that is that he's been judged on how his attitude was at Duke, but that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, the attitude. I understand that, and I can see that. But if he had, I mean, if he had some kind of experience, I think that would go a long way. You know, and then it's going to be whether they fall in line on LeBron. He's going to be the real. If he stays there, that's going to be the thing right there, because will LeBron let him coach him? You know, if LeBron lets him coach him, everybody else will fall in line. But if, let's say, LeBron looks at him side out or treats him in the way that he treated Eric Spoelstra, remember bumping Spoelstra, walking past him the way he did, you know. So I'm, you know, if it wasn't for Pat Riley standing his ground and staying with Spoelstra, who knows where that would have gone.
Yeah.
So
speaking of that, what kind of career would you think LeBron would have had if he never would have went to Miami?
LeBron's a great basketball player. Eventually, he was going to get it figured out, man. The dude is too great. He's going to eventually find a way, whether it was in Miami or not. I think he'd have figured it out. He was already winning 60 games in Cleveland, you know, playing there before he left and went to Miami. He had already taken the team to the finals. I thought he should have stayed in Cleveland and built a franchise. You know, that's what I would have wanted him to do, but he took a different route, you know, and it kind of was the model for the way the NBA was done, getting big name players together. But hey, man, this dude was winning 60 games a year in Cleveland, which we hadn't won since the Doherty and all those guys. And he was, you know, he got a team to the finals that, yeah, I bet you everybody on the show probably have trouble mentioning 4 other players that were on the roster, you know. So Boobie Gibson and all them type of people, nobody remember those guys, man. So for what he did, and has really never made a misstep off the court, you know, unless you want to talk about the decision thing where they hold against him. But man, I think he'd have figured it out. I think he would have. He just was he's that good. He just is. He's bigger, stronger, faster than everybody that we've ever seen play that type of wing position. So, and he had a basketball IQ that was unmatched by people. So, I think he'd have figured it out.
I agree.
And I'm not a big time LeBron fan. Don't get me wrong. I wish he would leave LA tomorrow, but I don't want him. I never wanted him on the Lakers. I'm a Laker fan, but I never wanted him to come to LA. But I'm just saying he would have figured it out, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. All right, man. That's the end of our roundtable discussion. Now it's time to have a little fun. For all those who are not diehard sports fans, we throw this segment in here just to give you just a little bit of love so we can have just a little bit of fun with our SRT fun bag. That was a good one last week. All right, this will be even better, man.
All right.
Let me know when you're ready.
Let's do it.
All right. First question, and make sure everybody listening, y'all go ahead and comment as well. SRT fun bag, let's go. Would you rather live to 100 years old, not in your right mind, struggling with health, or live to 85 in a good health and in your right mind?
Dang. I don't want to cut no years off, but boy, I want to know what's going on while I'm here, big homie. I could be sitting in the corner, somebody be doing something to me, and I wouldn't even know they're wrong. So yeah, I kind of want to know what the hell's happening. So 85, I guess, what I'm gonna have to take.
85, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Cuz to 85 too. I'm going with you. I want to be 8. I always want to be in my good mind. So 85 definitely be. If I get 85, I think I get to 100.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to do the 85.
Everybody saying 85. Coach said 85 too. All right. With what you know now, and if you had to do over, what age would you start over at?
Ooh, about what I know. Give me 16.
16, big homie.
Yeah, give me 16. Yeah, let me hold 16.
Hello, Dad said he wanted me in the middle. He want both of those. He want best of both worlds. 16. I mean, he want to be 90.
Yeah, let me get that 16.
16. Cuz said 15. Coach said 15. I'm gonna go with 17. I'm with Cuz. I'm gonna say 17 right before I made my decision to go to school.
Okay.
And Han, I think I would have. I'm not sure if you knew this, but I turned down a scholarship to play quarterback at Howard and Tennessee State.
Yeah, you told.
Yeah. So I don't know, with the way these quarterbacks making this money, and I'm thinking maybe, if I had to do it over again, maybe I would have played quarterback.
I feel you.
All right, third question. Would you go to the same high school that you went to if you had to do it?
Yeah, ain't no doubt. I'm a Wildcat to the end. Yes, sir. Hamilton born, Hamilton bred. When I die, be another Wildcat dead.
Yeah. What if your dad was coaching at another school though?
I'd be with Pops wherever we went. Ain't no doubt. I'm going with Pops.
Cuz said he didn't know that. Yeah, learn something about your cuz, bro. My answer is that, of course, I would have went to the same high school. Absolutely. I ain't got that was one of my best decisions I ever made. I'm writing a book about it right now.
That's what's up.
Everybody's saying, yep, Alpha High's in the house. Southwest DeKalb for life. That's what I'm talking about. Representing them schools, baby. All right, for a traveling man, if it was if anything was free, which is more important to you as far as travel? Free rental car, free flight, or free stay? You only can pick one.
Or free what?
Free hotel, free stay.
Oh, free stay. Free stay. But it's gotta be a good place now. I don't want to get in, I don't want to be in the hood now. I don't want to be. Yeah, I don't want to walk over nobody or a chalk out line to get to my room where somebody got shot last night.
It can't be no Motel 8.
No, none of that. None of that. But
it gotta be 5-star better or 4-star better.
Yeah. If I'm gonna pick, it's gotta be that. So yeah, give me the hotel stay. And that's I didn't say motel. I ain't said motel. I don't want you to open my door and go get in the car. I want to come down the elevator. I got it.
Dad said free stay, 5-star only.
Yeah. I don't want that chalk outline outside the door. I don't need that.
Coach said free stay, but no rats, please.
Yeah. That's
I tell you, y'all are funny. All right, I'm going with the free flight.
Okay.
I'll pay for the hotel. Just get me there.
Okay.
I know you're going to love this one. Name me somebody in music, whether it be a person, a group, or any situation that doesn't get enough talk or doesn't get enough love.
Okay, say that one more time.
Name somebody in the music industry that we don't talk about enough, that does not get enough talk, love, or don't get enough talk or get enough love. Whether it be a person or group or a situation.
I always thought this dude here didn't get the love I thought he, and that's Joe, man. Joe was a bad boy, man. So okay. I'm going with Joe. His claim to fame now is being on the Power soundtrack. They tried to take him off of there, and people went crazy. They said, "No, we got to have Joe back." So I'm thinking Joe, man.
You thinking Joe?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him his props. I think Joe can blow, man.
All right, so let me do it this way. If you had to go one rap and one R&B.
One rap, one R&B?
Yeah.
One rap. Okay, I gave him R&B. I'm going with Joe with R&B. Rap, who didn't get the acclaim. I'm sure it's somebody I'm missing, I'm thinking of. Excuse me. Thank you, sir. Man.
I mean, you can go with Cuz Stole My Thunder.
Stokely and Mint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's real good.
Cuz stole my thunder, but that was mine.
Yeah.
That was mine. What actually Mint Condition is my Stokely and Mint Condition.
Yeah, that's definitely a great one. No doubt about it.
Don't get talked about enough.
Nah,
And
not at all.
rapping, I'm going with my main man MJG from Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
Do not get enough talk, do not get enough love or anything. So I'm going
Memphis legend, baby.
I'm going
on now.
Yes, sir. I'm going MJG and Mint Condition as the two music people that I don't think get enough love.
Okay. I ain't mad at that.
Cuz say KRS-One. Okay. Go on, Dad's got a star. All
Yeah,
star.
he went with it, did he? I see.
Yeah. Beats by the pound. Okay. Go ahead now. Last one, homie. You gonna love this one.
Go for it.
If they made a movie about Sports Roundtable, who would be casting for H.O. from Bankhead and Sports Superhero?
Woo, man. Somebody else need to answer those questions, big homie. Let's see. Let's see.
I'm sure we'll let the chat.
We're gonna let the folks say that one, man. I don't know who was. Sade just because. Okay, coach. I don't know, big homie. Woo, man.
I got it.
You got it. Tell me who.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Bro, it ain't hard, man. It ain't hard. I just saw him this weekend. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Hey, that's because what's up.
You the funny one, and I'm the guy who like to keep it in the road.
Keep it in the road. There you go. I ain't mad at that. That's good. That's good, big homie. With that.
Coach said Samuel L. Jackson and Jackson. Well, I don't know who gonna be Samuel L. Jackson because D will do all the cussing. We know.
Yeah, he do.
So I don't know who is who. But I like the Will Smith and Martin Lawrence casting.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. That's a real good one.
That's a good one. Run about the Miss Sports Superhero and see what she think.
Yeah, I'm gonna holler and see what she said. I'll check it out.
Yeah. Plus, my mom used to always say, "Well, me and Will Smith look alike anyway." I'm like, well, I don't really see that, but okay.
Hey, take it.
Yeah, I take it. Yeah, Cuz say he can dig that. All right, well, that's all I got for you, big homie.
Yeah.
All the questions I got. So with that being said, I did go see Bad Boys 4, bro. Went for Father's Day, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard good reports on it.
Yeah, so big homie, go ahead and check it out.
Okay.
Yeah, go out and check that out, man. It was pretty dope. So that was on my mind, and the chemistry that they had between each other. It reminded me of us, and that's what made me ask the question.
That's what's up. That's a good one, man.
Yeah, so it was great chemistry. They were funny, and they was off the chain with it, as always. But I want to give a shout out to D Will for coming through, bringing the energy as always. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to all the people who continue to rock with Sports Roundtable, man. We sure really appreciate it. And I gave Pops his birthday shout out. Another shout out birthday today is Tanisha Crowell. Shout out to Tanisha, loyal listener of the show. Her birthday is Juneteenth. And shout out to my baby girl Jackie. Baby girl Jackie, just turned another age, a little younger. So sending all them birthday shout outs, man. And
Shout out.
all the Geminis in June. All the Geminis. Y'all all right with me? That's all I got here. What you got?
Hey man, shout out. I want to shout out Marty Mart, man, and his wife. 3-year anniversary came up on my timeline. So shout out to him, man. Shout out to all the listeners and all the tenants, man, for coming and hanging out with us, man. Shout out to you, big homie. Rolling again. We got to another show.
Yes, sir. We did.
I think I'm still freezing a little bit. I gotta find a way to hook in here a little bit better. But anyway, shout out, man. Hope y'all can hear me. But
Yeah, we did.
good. Well, shout out, man, and let's do this again next week, bro.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So as always, man, y'all did y'all thing tonight. We really appreciate it. I got to get up out of here. I got to go pick Slim up now. Old
Okay.
Duke sat up here with me in the crate and watched me do the show. He was sitting over there chilling.
Shout out, Duke.
Yeah, so he was sitting over there chilling, looking at me like, man, y'all making all that noise. What y'all doing over there? I'm surprised he didn't go to Boston and do anything like that, but he was good to go. Yeah, man, but we appreciate that. Remember, follow us on. Oh, I got to give a shout out to my main man. My main man, Jesse. He came through tonight. First time listener, all the way from Carolina. I hope he don't. I hope he don't root for the lighter blue. But you know, I ain't gonna hold it again. But yeah, it was great, man, to get this thing going and popping. So follow us on YouTube, SRT Sports Round Table 2705. Make sure you follow us on all social media networks. Catch us on at SRT Radio on X and IG, and SRT Sports Talk Radio on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe, like, do all the good old social media things. And with that being said, let's roll, baby.
Boogie, I'm headed home, baby.
It's your main man, H.O. from Bankhead. R.I.P. Moms and Pops. R.I.P. BC. And if you love the show,
Tell a friend.
and if you didn't,
One more time. Shout out Marty Mart, 3-year anniversary, baby. Peace.
peace. Shout out, Marty.